Dive into the riveting tale of desperation and sacrifice as we unravel the Kamikaze Project, reshaping history in the crucible of war. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today, we have a gripping and thought-provoking topic to dive into: the Kamikaze Project. This phenomenon, born out of desperation during World War II, forever changed the course of history. So, grab your seats because today, we're delving deep into the history, motivations, and impact of the Kamikaze Project. Historical context. To grasp the profound significance of the Kamikaze Project, we must delve into the historical context of World War II. By the mid-1940s, Japan found itself ensnared in the relentless grip of war. The Pacific Theater witnessed fierce battles, and the Japanese military faced overwhelming odds against the advancing Allied forces. In this desperate situation, the concept of the kamikaze was born out of a desire to turn the tide and defend the homeland. The rising sun seemed to be setting, and Japan sought unconventional means to resist the encroaching threat. It's against this backdrop that the kamikaze phenomenon emerged, representing a radical and, for some, desperate response to the dire straits Japan found itself in during the latter stages of World War II. Origins of kamikaze. The roots of the kamikaze phenomenon go beyond the pages of World War II history, reaching back to Japan's cultural and historical consciousness. The term kamikaze itself harks back to ancient times, recalling the legendary divine wind that, according to folklore, saved Japan from Mongol invasion in the 13th century. Fast forward to the 1940s, and the concept was repurposed, imbued with a new meaning, a last-ditch effort to safeguard the nation. The transition from folklore to wartime strategy is emblematic of the complex motivations driving the kamikaze pilots. It wasn't merely a military tactic, it was an embodiment of duty, honor, and, in the eyes of many, a form of ultimate patriotism. The desperate circumstances of war transformed an ancient myth into a chilling reality as young pilots prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice for their homeland. Motivations behind kamikaze attacks. Understanding the motivations that propelled young men to become kamikaze pilots requires a deep dive into the psyche of wartime Japan. The concept of gyokusai, or shattering like a jewel, was a prevailing ideology that permeated the minds of these individuals. To them, sacrificing their lives for the greater good of the Japanese Empire was not just a duty, it was an honorable and revered path. The societal pressure to conform to these ideals intensified the resolve of these young pilots. Letters penned by kamikaze pilots reveal a mix of emotions: duty, fear, and a sense of fatalism. It's essential to recognize the human side of these pilots, torn between the weight of their sacrifice and the conviction that they were serving a higher purpose. The impact of kamikaze attacks. The impact of kamikaze attacks on the Pacific War was both strategic and psychological. These suicide missions struck fear into the hearts of Allied forces, disrupting their naval operations and causing significant damage to ships. The relentless and unpredictable nature of the attacks created a psychological toll on the sailors who faced this new form of warfare. The sheer effectiveness of kamikaze strikes, especially in the later stages of the war, forced the Allies to adapt their strategies and defenses. The damage caused, both physical and psychological, cannot be overstated. The legacy of the kamikaze attacks reverberated far beyond individual battles, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of the Pacific War. Kamikaze tactics and techniques. The kamikaze tactics employed during World War II were not only born out of desperation, but also showcased a strategic innovation that left an indelible mark on naval warfare. These suicide pilots were not merely individuals on a suicidal mission. They were part of a meticulously planned strategy that aimed to maximize impact. Flying at low altitudes to avoid radar detection until the last moment, kamikaze pilots engaged in surprise attacks that caught the Allied forces off guard. Their targets were chosen with precision, often aiming for the most vulnerable areas of enemy vessels. The effectiveness of these tactics is evident in the chaos they wrought upon Allied fleets. The kamikaze strategy forced the Allies to adapt quickly, enhancing their naval defenses and re-evaluating their approach to counter this unconventional threat. The evolution of these tactics throughout the course of the war showcased the adaptability and ingenuity of the kamikaze pilots, who became masters of navigating the fine line between life and death. The human side of kamikaze. Peering into the human side of the kamikaze phenomenon unveils a tapestry of stories, struggles, and individual choices that unfolded against the backdrop of war. These young men, thrust into the role of kamikaze pilots, were not faceless entities, but individuals with hopes, fears, and dreams. Some willingly embraced their fate, propelled by a deep-seated sense of duty and loyalty to their country. They saw their sacrifice as the highest form of patriotism, adhering to the concept of gyokusai, shattering like a jewel for the greater good. On the flip side, others grappled with the heavy burden of knowing they were on a one-way mission. The conflict between personal desires and societal expectations created a poignant internal struggle. Letters penned by kamikaze pilots reveal the complex emotional landscape they navigated. Expressions of love for family, apprehension about the mission, and a profound sense of farewell. By exploring these personal narratives, we gain a more nuanced understanding of the individuals behind the kamikaze missions. They were not mere instruments of war. They were sons, brothers, and friends, caught in the tumultuous currents of a conflict that demanded the ultimate sacrifice. Their stories, both tragic and human, remind us of the profound impact war has on the lives of those who become unwilling participants in its brutal narrative. Legacy of the Kamikaze Project. As the dust settled on World War II, Japan faced the complex task of reconciling with the legacy of the Kamikaze Project. Post-war Japan found itself in a delicate position, balancing the need to honor the fallen with the moral reckoning of the human cost of these desperate tactics. The question of whether the sacrifice of these young pilots was justified continues to stir debate, challenging the nation to grapple with the ethical dimensions of warfare. Memorials dedicated to kamikaze pilots stand as solemn monuments to a tumultuous era, reminding future generations of the sacrifices made. These memorials also serve as a bridge between the past and present, prompting reflection on the evolving nature of conflict and the enduring impact it leaves on societies. Post-war Japan, striving for renewal and reconstruction, had to confront the scars left by the Kamikaze Project, shaping the nation's post-war identity. The legacy extends beyond military strategy, influencing Japan's place in the global narrative of conflict and sacrifice. Exploring this legacy not only sheds light on historical events, but also prompts us to consider the profound, lasting consequences of war on the collective consciousness of a nation. The Kamikaze Project is a somber chapter in the annals of history, a testament to the extreme measures nations can take during times of conflict. As we reflect on this period, it's crucial to learn from the past, to strive for peace and understanding. If you found this video informative, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.